Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second game of XPC International playing up against Angry Army. My name's Duke, and joining me is Sick. Let's get into game 2.
Yes, and
now that first game, did you expect an Ursa to be able to out-carry a PA and a Weaver after those throne fights?
No, I actually didn't expect it. I've seen the advantage the Angry Army went through, and it was really good for them, and they put a lot of pressure on themselves, I think, because they see the potential of XPC International's picks in the first game. So they had to put up a lot of pressure, and I think they pressured themselves for that. So they had some slip-offs in the team fights and got surprised by moves by the XPC International. Even though all this happened, they still managed to overcome this, let's say, being surprised status, and just execute the last fight perfectly and on point, and put all the correct spells in the right place, and they just figured out the way to create the perfect team fight for them, and it just paid off with a win there. So after the massive advantage they got, they just finished the game off with that, and I'm really looking forward if the XPC International team is going to pick up stronger lanes in this game and tries to play a little bit less greedier, because if they lose this game, they lost this match, and it's gonna throw them back in the group phase, of course.
Yeah, definitely. And so I think one thing I have to sort of ask you, in the game, obviously, if XPC had gone into the Roshan pit earlier before it actually fell, how different do you think that team fight would have been? If there wasn't going to be the Aegis on the Invoker, and there wasn't the cheese, and it potentially could have been stolen or the Roshan delayed.
I think it would just be like the two team fights we saw before, because this Invoker just melted immediately, and they really had the problem of this Invoker being constantly out of the team fight and fighting 4v5 because he was just taken out so early. And with that Aegis pickup, he had the opportunity to just come back in and throw all his spells he wanted. He had the freedom to do whatever he wanted, because the team fight was already split up after this Invoker died first time. So yes, if they didn't pick up this Roshan early enough and didn't get the Aegis up on the Invoker, this team fight would have just turned out like the other team fights before, when XPC International just overcame the Angry Army.
Yeah. Do you think that was a sort of a nervous decision coming out of XPC? Sort of, do we go in, do we not? Like, sort of, what is really going through your mind in that, sort of that position, where you've won the last two team fights, coming back from behind, and it really is all on the line at this point.
Team pick.
Yes, and what's going through your mind then in that situation is usually you have the problem that the team thinks of something and the captain says something, and if you don't feel that way what the captain says yourself, and your team is not playing together for quite a long time, then you just think, maybe I shouldn't go in first, and maybe this could go wrong, and you just don't like obey the captain in the sense. And it's not a problem about the communication, of course, because the captain probably said let's go in now, but there's a little bit of hesitation in each player, which is just natural. You cannot just switch it off right now, and you just have to play with your players for a long time in order to just switch that off. So that little bit of hesitation just bought the Angry Army enough time, and if you lose this team fight, what goes through your mind then is just fuck.
Yeah, definitely. We'll just quickly get back into the bands and picks. Angry Army taking out the Doom and the Invoker. XPC taking out the Lycan and the Brewmaster. Angry Army choosing to take up the Treant Protector, taking it away from Spartan in the second game, and actually taking up the next Assassin as well. Angry Army taking XPC's picks away from them, saying, right, this is how it's going to be played. And XPC taking out the Shadow Demon Mirana. And this is actually the first game we've actually had where the Mirana hasn't been banned out. So I'm very much looking forward to how this is going to play.
Yes, if we have a good player on the Mirana, and we're certainly going to have one, because these players are not some random players, they're teams that qualify for this tournament. We have this this combo which is well known to everyone, and that's why we have this Nux as a counter, because if you're like not for a split second while timing this arrow disruption combo, then you can just pop off the carapace and the whole engagement fails. So this Nyx Assassin is just a direct counter to what the Radiant team picked right now. What I don't really understand is picking the Trend Protector, because it's not like they had to get it off XPC International, because the Angry Army really knew how to shut down that Trend Protector to avoid him getting the spells out. So I think it was not a snatch of the Trend Protector. I think they just have a tactic of their own with that Trend Protector. And I'm really interested in the rest of the picks coming out now of the Angry Army with that Trend Protector. They definitely prepared something with that. So we're gonna see what's happening.
Yeah, definitely. Just got stats. Spartan is 4-1 on the Shadow Demon, and Skanks is 5-2 on the Mirana. So these are some comfort picks for them.
Yes, they're really looking into picking what they have in their comfort zone and how they can evolve this game as they wish, and they probably know the exact moves, what they know, what they are capable of doing, and what they should avoid doing. And with all that pickups, and with being comfortable on your hero, you think less and you just do the right thing. And if you have that kind of comfort zone, it really just plays off very well.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and they do ban out the supports from Angry Army, taking out these supports, banning out the Rubik, banning out the AA. XPC not wanting to have that big silence from the Disruptor or the Glimpse for that matter.
Yes, Glimpses, especially against the Mirana, this Disruptor is a really good hero, because basically everything in this in Disruptor, that hero is able to shut down the Mirana with the Thunder, Lightning, however you call it, Thunderstorm, I think. You can keep up the vision for a glimpse after the leap. You can, with that silence, with the Static Storm, you have so much disable for that Mirana. So really looking into getting rid of that Disruptor is a really nice ban here in this situation. And yet again, they ban the Furion. They really don't like to have to deal with different places at the same time, I feel.
Yeah, and what would you sort of say if they were going to pick up a Wisp here? In the next two picks, Angry Army do potentially pick up a Wisp combo.
Dire team pick.
Something to pair in with the tree, and obviously, because you could just sort of have the tree and scout out, or even just the Nyx Assassin scouting out. They both have the invis ability to move around, and then if you just get sort of a Wisp TP in, obviously very easy kills to be able to pick up. Obviously very difficult to sort of pull off without being scouted.
Yes, right now, the Wisp would be a really nice addition to the strategy of the Angry Army here right now, with that Nyx and the Trend Protector already being able to scout something out, being able to just come out of the shadows and surprise. But if you really look at the heroes of XPC International, Mirana is going to be able to just leap away. Darkseer can see the Wisp TP incoming and just search away. And this Shadow Demon, yes, is it really valuable picking one hero as a Wisp to just shut down the Shadow Demon right now? So I think with that strategy, a Wisp would be nice, but not against the heroes that XPC International picked right now.
No, okay, yeah, that's a fair point, especially with their escapability. And even if that was required, the Shadow Demon would just be able to probably just disrupt this sort of the carry coming with the Wisp quite swiftly.
Yes, I agree.
And Viper pickup. And we did see a very nice Viper from Dota 2 Romania yesterday. This was along their level 1 Roshan strat.
Yes, I agree. But this Viper is being able to be played in mid. You can play it safely, and you can even go aggressive tri-lane with a Viper. Even though with Trend Protector and Nyx, if these both were to be supports, then it's really hard to pull off an aggressive tri-lane with two melees, of course. But this Viper is so versatile, you can basically place her on whatever lane, and it's gonna work out till a certain point. And it's just basically always a nice pickup to have a Viper, because it's just such a strong hero throughout the early and mid game.
Dire team.
Here we go. Tinker has been banned out, I think in two or three out of the 5 games that we've casted so far.
Yes.
Personally, I don't completely agree with the ban, as he's quite simple to shut down if you've got the ability to. An Nyx Assassin will be able to sort of hunt him once she gets a 6, and even sort of like you can keep your sort of
10
towers alive with the
seconds
Train
remaining.
Protector, and the Viper can just walk through that march and
5
like just every
seconds
now and
remaining.
then get that Croesus skin up onto the Tinker and just make him take
Reserve
that damage.
time.
Yes, we've seen a lot of teams just going for that double or triple blade mail against the Tinker because it's really hard catching him with that dagger as soon as it's up, and with a boost of travel he's just walking around and you cannot really push into it. You have to pick off the Tinker in before you can actually go high ground and contest the enemy's base. And it's gonna be really hard pushing into a Darkseer Tinker Mirana. There's so much creep killing potential and just deep push, which what was really missing in the last game from
Radiant
XPC
team
International.
banned.
Oh, this is just going to be beautiful. I'm going to be honest, I'm not even bothered about the rest of the picks anymore. We've got a Witch Doctor in the board.
Yes, it's always a nice hero, and if you have some
10
combo
seconds
possibilities,
remaining.
some lockdown when the ward just paying off so well, and the Maledict is really
5
strong against
seconds
tanky heroes like a
remaining.
Darkseer, for example, because that Maledict is gonna stack high really strong.
Dire
And-
team banned.
Yep. And just sort of stats in, Tinker versus Viper is only 28% win rate in sort of all of Dota history.
Yes,
So
because
are we going to break the train?
10 seconds
with the
remaining.
current setup of heroes, it's really hard to tell who's coming out ahead on this
seconds
draft
remaining.
so far, because both these teams have so versatile and strong teams. They can do basically whatever they want
Reserve
and just
time.
evolve some random, like not random, but their strategies, how they worked it out before, and it's really gonna surprise each team of how the enemy plays, because it's not always that usual that you see Trent nukes a Viper and a Witch Doctor in a team, of course,
10
and
seconds
it's
remaining.
really interesting to see how they work out their strategy that they picked right now.
5 seconds remaining.
Are we going to, obviously, with XPC taking up the Radiant side, are we going to see a
Radiant team
quick
pick.
sort of ward up onto the Ancients, just sort of denying him that extra farm?
A lot of teams tend to do that. It's always good to have that Ancients blocked, but I would say consider it starting at minute 3, because if you start it in the very early game, you have like 1 minute wasted or 2 minute wasted of your ward, because this Tinker is the first minutes just trying to farm his bottle
10
up, trying to
seconds remaining.
like secure maybe a rune and get his boots up to be able, and
5
his soul ring,
seconds
that's
remaining.
really important. You need all these items before you can actually just start farming this stacked Ancients efficiently,
Reserve
and you have
time.
to utilize
10
the time
seconds
to farm
remaining.
up. And so maybe warding it a little bit later
Dire
is
team pick.
a little bit better for your team, but of course, yeah, you need to ward out the Ancients and maybe some tricky spots so it doesn't get countered immediately.
I'm looking forward to this already. A Darkseer vacuum into the Macropyre with the Ice Path on top of that. This could be a lot of damage. I have to say, I wasn't expecting the Twin Head
10
Dragon.
seconds remaining.
That's so beautiful about this draft. They had so
5
many heroes
seconds
they could
remaining.
choose from, and Jakiro is just another perfect addition to this draft. What? That's
I love
great.
how don't tell me, because my Dota is just slightly frozen, and I actually can't see the hero yet.
Oh, you're gonna love this.
Oh yes, come on.
Prepare for battle.
It is.
We're gonna have a sniper mid versus this Tinker. What is Tinker's armor level 1? Actually, 4 armor level 1, so he's not gonna be like, he'll be able to deal with harassment quite effectively. But anyway, into game 2 of the Amateur Dota League, Dota Legends. Let's introduce Angry Armies. We have Progi onto the Viper, XD onto the Treant, Charlie onto the Witch Doctor, Ard onto the Sniper. We've got Woosa onto the Nyx Assassin. On the flip side, for XPC, we have Spartan on the Shadow Demon. We have Relax onto the Mirana, Skanks onto the
30 seconds. to
Jakiro, the
battle.
Twin Head Dragon, the THD. With also Jatsovsky onto the Tinker, and last but not least, we have Madara on his 5-3 currently Darkseer, so quite effective in sort of ticketed games at the moment. He's going to get some early harassment out onto the Mirana, But a nice ice path coming in from the Vicara. That range is absolutely insane.
I really love this
The
hero.
battle begins.
Especially in this draft, we got the information from our stats guy that most of these heroes they picked are already played by them in this team, so they really try to get into their comfort zone and play this out as used to it as possible, as they trained it before, and I'm really looking forward to this, to their max level now in this comfortable spots. And this time Angry Army is the one building the tri-lane and trying to bring on the noise here with the Viper. As I said before, it's really strong on basically every lane, so it's a really strong hero on aggressive tri-lanes as well, because you have that tanky, ranged, slow, damage, everything hero.
Yeah. He just really offers everything, especially now we've also got the cask on this lane with the lead seed. Actually, they're going to go straight away, and everything is going to be close enough for a bounce. Oh, the bounces are there. Obviously, only 3 bounces at that level 1, and the Spartan is going to take so much damage, have to pop off himself. And such a worthwhile trade for Angry Armies there. Meanwhile, obviously we've got Jazowski in the mid lane. It's really useful having up that laser early up against any hero, because you just get some early like free last hits. Actually misses that last hit as the blind wears out. Actually at bottom lane we do have another initiation. There was the arrow onto the Treant, but now they're actually just going onto the Mirana. Mirana's not able to leap away. One more attack might actually wouldn't have been able to do it, but there is some action going on between these heroes. And just notice that Treant does have boots.
Yeah, that's really gonna help out to get out his close range slow, which is so useful because it also heals. And this Trilin is really trying to bring the noise here in this game too. And we have so defensive two parts with that Jakiro and that Shadow Demon being able to just sit around, save people, stop enemy team, and it's gonna be really interesting how they try to sneak up kills and try to get some advantage on that tri-lane, because if you're on aggressive tri-lane you actually really profit from having that kills. If you don't get the kills on the tri-lane, it's not gonna be that worth it.
Yeah. Another thing which I thoroughly rate the boots early on the Treant is just how much right click damage he has.
You have no right.
If he's getting to be able to just right click people, he is just dealing an incredibly large amount of damage.
No.
And this Darkseer actually standing inside the creep wave, getting stunned, taking a little bit of damage. That's a really nice amount of harass with the body block. And
oh, that was very nice body block. Obviously, no extra impale, but it's enough just to sort of push them back. And you always want to try and push back the Darkseer as much as you can. In the mid lane, it's getting fairly even. The blind, I really think, is making the difference for the thing, and obviously that DD rune that was picked up.
Yes, and the good thing about the sniper being with it headshots, it's basically like an MKB with a person chance, so he can still get his last hits if he is lucky. And 40% isn't actually too low, so he has a good chance of getting last hits even though he's blinded. And we have an initiation on the bottom lane.
Yeah, there is a nice initiation. The ice buff goes over all three. The leech seed is coming out. The Treant armor is out onto the Treant himself, and they should be able to pick up this kill. The cast is coming up in 1 second. And there we go. There's the first blood. They need to try and get the Treant out of here. The casket's going off between the creeps and the heroes. The Treant is still just kiting his way through these trees. The arrow flies through. Actually doesn't land. A nice ice path coming from the Shakira back into the fight, and the magic wand is enough to be able to try and keep the Shadow Demon alive. Mirana's still going to be trying to chase down this Viper. Doesn't have the leap for another 5 seconds. The Witch Doctor will fall, and can the Mirana get off the sleep? Actually, chooses to go for the arrow, but
oh, that was so close.
Yeah, I think even with the leap, the Treant armor would have been enough to keep him alive quite safely.
Yeah, I agree on that. It's a really interesting lane on the bottom here, because we have so much defensive skills on the Radiant side. With XPC International really having the possibility to just disengage with that ice path, with the disruption, with a leap. There's so much to get out of the danger zone here, and even they have the slow on the Viper and the Trent, and they have a stun on the Witch Doctor. It's still really hard for them to just take the kills.
Yeah, and actually we actually do see the Tinker sort of farming like the hard and medium camp. So he's going to be able to get his travel up even quicker. And yeah, like we were saying, really big comfort picks coming out for XPC in this game. And I'm seeing it just like with this bottom lane, the Shadow Demon, his disruptions are nearly like always on point. He was able to keep himself alive in that bottom lane using the magic wand just to keep himself just a little bit safer. And they are going to roam around trying to see if they can pick off one of the heroes. And they've got the disruption, but they need to get the Mirana into the right position. The arrow will actually land onto the Viper, and that is really not what you want to happen. The slow is coming out. The Maledict is... it's on the Maledict. The healing... The fountain. Voodoo Restoration. It is extremely strong, and it's actually the bouncing... the paralyzing cast that was just bouncing between the Jakiro and the Shadow Demon, not allowing them to get any closer.
Yes, that was a nice move by the Viper, just walking into the arrow, trying to catch it so the Witch Doctor gets out of the ice path and is being able to cast that cast to just make it happen that all these three heroes can evacuate safely. And it was just... both these teams have so much kill potential and just like surviving potential. It's just so great to see how they try to get some kills, and then the fights evolve over a couple of seconds, like more than 20 seconds sometimes in the early stage of the game already.
This tree needs to be really, really careful right now. Actually, the arrow is going to completely miss. Those boots of movement speed really, really paying off for him. And now the Viper is in, just laying down the damage on Mirana, just sort of pushing him back. But I think Mirana really underestimating the length, or overestimating the length of the Jakiro ice path, and just how fast that train is. Now he's got with his boots.
Yes, and actually this Jakiro was level 3 and he's skilled Auto Fire as well, and he's maxing Auto Fire here, Liquid Fire that is. It was Auto Fire in Dota 1. And it's a really nice harassment spell, and it's really nice pushing spell, but I don't know if the Ice Path wouldn't be a better option here in this tri lane, because it gives you that extra time of lockdown here, and that's actually what they really need to just give the Mirana enough time to hit that arrow and give the team enough time to evacuate out of some bad positions.
Yeah, actually back in now with the just always able to escape that ice path and like disruption. Whoever gets caught, they are completely safe. In the mid lane, this is not being fun for the Tinker. Yeah, he's been able to get his farm up via the jungle, but we're looking at 26 denies on this Tinker. He is performing very, very well.
Yes, he definitely gets all the farm he wants. He's uncontested because the supports they need to stick on the aggressive tri-lane, because they cannot just leave him alone, leave this Viper alone for a long time, because yes, this Viper is tanky, but against 3 heroes with the Soul Catcher and with the Ice Path and the Liquid Fire, there's so much damage coming out there, so she cannot stay there alone, and so it's really hard for that support to roam around and lock down this Tinker, and that's all you need to do in the early game if you're a support. Usually you just have to try to lock down this Tinker, because if he gets boots of travel, he gets so active on the map, and it's gonna be really hard.
Yeah, and they're now chasing down onto Tinker. The Leech Seed is there. The Vendetta actually runs out. The Impale is actually going to miss. The Ice Path is going to be here, and this will be the end of the Tinker. Actually, yeah, with the disruption there, was saved for that TP, and that is just going to be an overzealous dive. And that's now 200 away from the boots of travel for the Tinker, sort of salvaging that sort of tricky farming. And the arrow lands onto the Witch Doctor. The double arrow actually landed onto the train, and the train is actually going to take down. Oh, the assassinate comes in from the side. The destruction. Why? The hits were coming in, and now the train armor was given enough time to come off the cooldown. The Viper is now in with the sniper. The headshots are coming out in full force. Now they're chasing onto the Shadow Demon, up onto the high ground. Will he be able to deny himself to the Ancients? They're going to wait for this, and that is a third kill for them. Yes, they traded the next assassin, but they got 3 out of it, and now the
Dire's
Might
top
is up
tower
on this
is under attack.
sniper. Really, the only saving grace is how much farm the Darkseer is getting on the top lane. Already got his mechanism up at the 10-minute mark, and almost pushed down this tower. And they really need to start getting these trait heals onto this tower and sort of play it a bit more safe, and keep that tower up to full capacity.
Yes, I agree. Well, they switched around the lanes now because this tower on the top lane was really pressured, and they had this. If this Viper goes top and just like walks into the Iron Shell just for a second and just walks out again, this Darkseer is gonna take a lot of damage from the cross.
We are going to see the Mirana actually going to leap away from the next assassin. Can she dodge the Impale though? And no, the Vendetta is actually going to be wasted. Not able to get off that Impale. Maybe just sort of not worried about the
and this Darkseer finds himself in a really bad position up here, and he's getting headshotted down, and the Trent just swipes him off now with the last hit.
Yeah,
and
you don't want to be stuck up against a double damage sniper.
Definitely, that was a really bad position to be in. He was up here. There's no business you have to do up here right now when there are 3 heroes of the Dire side standing there trying to defend the tower. And that was just a little small misstep, which just pushes the gold favor to Angry Army's favor right now.
Did you see how low the Witch Doctor was getting just from the Tinker March, and I think sort of just the little bit of, I think it was a bit of Iron Shell from the Darkseer. There is not a lot of health up onto the Witch Doctor, and if he gets caught out like that, it's not a nice position for him to be in.
We have a really nice ward down here to spot out the Tinker who's farming.
Yeah, they are playing this very, very
Dire's
well.
bottom tower is under attack.
I've got to say, the supports coming out of XPC, they need to give the Mirana some regeneration. Always on that low health. Actually, bottle delivery service is coming in. The assassin is going to be able to get away. Does have that Impale just to be able to sort of push that way. The overgrowth is actually used, I suppose. 70-second cooldown, actually not too, it's not a big deal.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And this Witch Doctor is just getting picked off by the Disruption, Cloakcatcher and the Iron Shell. While in return this Viper tries to hit down the Darkseer, but with a laser coming in from the Tinker with a boost of shovel, he just has to stop chasing, and then with the mechanism used, there's no counter kill going to happen. So we have the safety measures of the Radiant team, which can just work out really great against the Dire team right now, because they have a lot of take down damage, but not that big amount of nuke damage. And now they're diving behind this tower and trying to pick off that Viper, but with the living armor it's so hard to pick her off, and with the corrosive skin slowing down your movement speed, you have to actually give up chasing because you're out of mana. And
and how should you catch out? That assassinate! Wow, the level 2 ultimate just really coming into force there. Also, the next assassin is able to hold this bottom lane using that mana burn onto the Kiru, not allowing him. That is just absolutely just ridiculous damage. One headshot onto the Tinker was 160 damage.
And there's such a great ward war going on between these two parts. They try to snag on the vision of each other and trying to lock the vision out of the enemy team, and it's really great to see how they get some effort going just to lock down the vision, because this Tinker needs freedom right now. If he gets off his items, it's gonna be a really bad time for this Angry Army here. And with that ancient stacks going on right now, and with the wood camps he was farming, this Tinker had a really brilliant time in the mid, and it's just working out great right now.
Yeah, the really only counter is obviously with what the Sniper's been able to farm. The Viper hasn't got the mechanism just yet. It has got the full mechanism at the base. But on the flip side, you're looking at a Darkseer who's got mechanism and 1500 gold. He could be getting a Blink Dagger very, very quickly.
So right now the Radiant team is I think they're really gonna start the big pressure at the 20-minute mark when all the heroes got some core items, like the Darkseer maybe just plus another item. The Mirana needs something, maybe drums, and this Tinker just if he gets up a dagger, which he's pretty close to, they're really gonna try to pull on the pressure here right now, and if that happens, the Dire team really needs to be on spot with their calls and spotting out the Radiant team where they're moving, what they're doing, because if they're gonna be surprised by this Tinker and some combos coming in with the Shadow Demon and the Mirana arrow, it's really gonna get dicey here for them.
Yeah, but now I've got a Blink Dagger up onto the Tinker, and this is the point of the sort of game where you're saying that they really can't take him down, and they really need to sort of get that sort of triple blade mail. And the Treant's not going to get one anytime soon. The Nyx Assassin will be able to get one, and the Viper would actually work quite well on him. But these heroes are not sort of core for a Blink Dagger, and they're essentially out of bottom lane into the Ice Storm, into the arrow, and he's going to fall very, very quickly just from the Starstorm. And now the Witch Doctor's going to die as well. There was a lot of damage coming out of these heroes. You are got the snipe out the back with the Assassinate. Is going to be able to deal that extra damage. The Tinker is coming in. He's blinked away and now getting off that rearm. Gonna get these rockets back into the fight, but there was a nice double kill from the Mirana just to pick off the Trip Projector as well. Viper then returned the favour to the Mirana's face. But meanwhile, just look at where the Darkseer is. He's farming between the tier 2 and tier 3 towers. They didn't even need his mechanism, and they still took an even fight.
Yeah, this Darkseer are having a splendid time right now because they're applying some pressure on the bottom lane, so this Dire team is forced to go down there, and this Darkseer is just gonna farm up. He's just acquired his dagger here, and the initiation on this team on XPC International is just piling up right now. They have so much possibility to jump in somewhere, surprise someone, and just retreat out with the surge with the dagger of the Tinker.
Yeah, a nice little initiation onto Shadow Demon in the middle with that, with the Vendetta. We do now have the Maelstrom for the Sniper, and actually got his Morbid Mask up, so going for that life steal. Oh, I hope he goes for a Mask of Madness.
Usually you see a Sniper picking up a Mask of Madness because he's quite far out of the teamfight range and can just shoot away, and capitalizing on the extra attack speed.
Yeah, definitely. All those extra headshots really do make his time worthwhile.
Yeah, he really needs to use that Midas though. He's sitting on it for active reasons. And they throw a double ulti in that Darkseer's position where he was standing and TPing out, so they have cooldowns right now, so they cannot really initiate somewhere else.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Oh, look at it go!
Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
A nice little... Oh, this is damage coming out of that Sniper. That is just not very nice for him. Just absolutely massive damage coming out of him. The arrow does land onto the tree, but you've got the Sniper over there with the DD rune, just absolutely laying down the havoc. But in the meantime, we did see a deny on the bottom tower from the Nyx Assassin. That's really something they want to utilize quite well. Deny all these extra goals coming in. I think they're trying to go on to the Viper, but he is tanky. He is likely still to fall here. You still got the vacuum, you still got the ice path coming in, and you're still going to have all the nukes coming from this Tinker. Actually, no, the ice path and the ice path and the vacuum were used at exactly the same time. Quite a big misplay coming out from these heroes. He didn't have the movement speed to escape, especially once you had dual breath on him. I do think they could have saved that ice path.
Yes, probably that was, or the vacuum, just one of those skills. And that Sniper with his Mask of Madness pick up, he just shoots away on these towers, and they're rapidly falling, especially the tier 1 towers. And with the trend on the other Italian team, of course, you do not get the region on their towers, and slightly this Sniper will start sieging up all the towers he can find.
Yeah, but we actually saw this middle tower was almost dead with their attempt at a mid push earlier. Now it's back up to full health, and that's really the power of the Treant Protector. Now we have a Nyx Assassin roaming around with the Dagon. Oh, this is a brilliant play coming out of the XPC support. Instantly, every time with that Sentry, and that's going to be a death. Actually, no, with the train armor onto the assassinate into the impale is enough to pick off the Mirana. But the train armor was there just to be able to soak up some of that damage and save that next assassin.
Yeah, that was brilliant play. That was a pretty good amount of communication there. And even though this next assassin got spot out, she still was able to just make a kill happen there with the sniper together. And this is just the pickoffs they need right now to stay inside this game, because the farm advantage of this Radiant team, just being behind 6 kills yet having 2000 gold advantage here, just shows how much they farm the map, how much they utilize the possible.
Yeah. Oh, there's so much damage coming out of the sniper onto the
the nice arrow hits here with Iron Shell and the Starfall. This sniper is definitely gonna fall, and that's 576 gold going to Mirana here, and that was just such a great pickoff for her, because she definitely needs that money right now.
Yeah, and this is why Mirana is so feared and why he's banned so often. Is that maybe we'll land 1 in 10 arrows, but that 10th arrow will be absolutely massive. Vacuum into the ice path. They are going to just use the Moonlight Shadow for the Radiant, but the dust is there from the Witch Dodger. They're going to try and move him away. And we're going to see the Death Ward. Oh, and look at it go.
Oh, beautiful search.
But then we get the mechanism coming in from the dark side. The damage, the train armor just go onto himself. The leech seed damage is coming onto him. A nice jump in from the next assassin, but he's actually going to fall to the Tinker with the March. The Tinker's actually falling with the damage from the Viper. It will be enough.
The acid test.
And that was this dangerous. You got the sniper coming back in. They really can't try and pressure into this too hard. Are we going to see a nice little arrow? No mana left on the Mirana. But this should translate into a tower. Because there's very little to no deep push obviously without the Tinker there. And the Shrapnel plus Mask of Madness, and just on the range of the sniper, he is able to pick that off quite effectively.
Yes, and this teamfight was so split up, so they tried to split up the teamfight so this Tinker March isn't as effective as they feared it to be. And it worked out in the first couple of seconds in the teamfight, but this Radiant team, with all their farm they got, they just can overpower them right now, and they really need to get some pickoffs, get a little bit of gold advantage back, and maybe get a good initiation on either the Tinker or the Darkseer or the Mirana. This is like 3 heroes, one of these core heroes they need to take out in order to make a good teamfight happen. And if they get this step happened, then it's gonna be a really good time for the Dire team, because then they can just capitalize on it and just push a tower away, just get some more money in, utilize their own map to farm up. And this next assassin is already sneaking up and searching again.
Yeah, back with the tasers, we have got the level 1 Dagon for the next assassin, and he's just going to be roaming around trying to pick up the kills. And the thing is, he could just keep doing it with the length of the... So you got the 60-second cooldown on the 35-second duration Vendetta, so it's going to be up very, very often for him just to sort of go around and get off all of his nukes.
Darkseer is actually going right into a BKB, which is an interesting pickup, because of course you want to avoid getting interrupted while casting your wall vacuum combo, and
but thing
yeah,
it isn't. The headshot still can cancel it though.
Yes, headshot, but then headshot is like the only thing that can cancel it, and there is no Witch Doctor random cast flying towards you. No. There is like no impale, and there is no carapace proc from your Iron Shell that you casted prior to that fight. And all that little things are really annoying as a Darkseer if you really want to get out your combo.
Yeah, definitely.
Radiant structures
the
are
overgrowth still does go through it, so he still can be caught in the overgrowth. We'll have to wait for the wait to use the BKB until after the overgrowth. Meanwhile, at the bottom tower, they do the train just is able to take that out by himself. 2,500 gold up on him. That is a lot of money for this train protector. Meanwhile, they are trying to jump onto this Darkseer with the overgrowth, and just these constant mana burns just do so much work for him. And actually, Mirana, they were able to pick off the sniper in the mid lane. I imagine that was an arrow in or just a long-range ice path.
Yeah, probably one of the things. And the Darks here with this Ogre Club already picked up, and with the mech, he's just so tanky and really hard to pick off for this dire combo of having the nukes and the trend there. And they used basically everything just to take him down, and it just didn't work out. And there's another arrow flying out.
They have a nice initiation. There's no overgrowth unfortunately for them anymore, but look at the potential for this impale. Actually, no,
nice disruption!
That disruption was absolutely amazing. Now we're getting the rockets that are coming in from the Tinker. He's starting to lay down his damage. Just punching down onto the Chikiro from the Tree and Protector. They're trying to chase onto the NX Assassin. The arrow point blank will be able to get him. The Darks actually just chop him down. So they end up trading 1-for-1, obviously after the sniper had already died in the middle lane, but they're trading a Nyx, a core, plus a support for 2 supports.
In this game, really, the towers stay alive for such a long time. Of course, on the one side we have the trend, but on XPC International side, we have just this constant Tinker marches, which just stop the push immediately. And this game is gonna drag out for quite a long time, and I'm really looking forward to how they try to sneak up on someone to try to take a pick off and see how it works out for them, because right now they cannot head-on push into a tower with that march up.
And he's actually just about to pick up his sheep after he finishes this ancient stack. And the sniper just picked up his BKB at the same time as the Darkseer, but we still have a full sheep stick up for this Tinker. And Hex Rearm is nothing to sort of like dismiss. It is absolutely terrifying. You will be permanently hexed.
Yes, basically this Tinker is worse than an assassinate for the Dire team, because you just lock on a target and then you constantly hex and laser rocket this target that you chose down to nothing. And if this sniper is like caught before he activates his BKB, he's gonna fall so rapidly with this just 1100 HP. And imagine he pops on the Mask of Madness just in order to farm something, and the Timper hopping on that, and then you have a Hex Sniper with activated Mask of Madness. He's just gonna melt so fast.
Yeah. And they really do need to push something, because despite the good pushing power of the sniper with the shrapnel, the Tinker has just been able to sort of hold every push back from them.
And there comes the Blink Hex onto this Viper, and this Viper can just do nothing, because there's just Hex after Ice Path, and everything is just locked down to death. But the Dire team, Angry Army that is, are capitalizing on that little pick off on the top lane and just try get their second tower 27 minutes into this game.
Yeah, and they're starting to move this around. They do really, I think they need to get a little bit more farm onto the Switch Doctor. I think they do really need that Malediction up. Such a useful spell, and with only one BKB on the side of XPC, if it gets it on at least 2 heroes, they could do so much damage to them.
And we actually have a smoke gank coming out of the XPC International side, but there's nothing big to find right now. They had to walk all the way up to the Witch Doctor, which is already retreating, and then we have a sniper farming just the big cap and then retreating out of the woods. They're very careful in this game, and they're trying to not die to pickoffs with exactly that smoke gank, and he's actually using the vision of the shrapnel just to wiggle down some creeps. And now this Witch Doctor is
right now.
Yeah,
it will be the
grave danger. Go down. It's actually a good sacrifice for this Witch Doctor to just be there out of position, so the sniper knows there's a shitstorm coming for him, and he can just survive through this then and farm up a little bit more.
Yeah, we do now get the Blink Dagger for this next assassin.
Oh, that was a nice attempt. That was such a great attempt, just with the arrow and the Darkseer blinking after it and trying to vacuum something inside the arrow. It was a really nice move, but unfortunately it didn't pay off.
Yeah, this game really is starting to... it is quite slow down, and that's really what you see when you have a Tinker and a Treant. Treant walking through the jungle actually has the gem himself, so he's going to be able to scout out any of these wards that they have in. But they see him. He assassinates there. Whoa, that's just so much damage.
Oh, look at it go!
And there we go. There is the cast. Actually, he's locking down the Darkseid, but it's only the Darkseid. They really want that. Oh, just now Mirana's absolutely getting you down. The Carapace just reflecting the Starstorm damage. You know, well, we are going to get a BKB TP coming out of the Darkseid. But the Starstorm damage onto the Carapace is just way too much for the Mirana team to handle.
And that's 2 death plus a 10-second BKB waste, which is so crucial right now because the Dire team, they're 5 kills ahead, but they're still 2,000 gold behind. The XPC International analyzing on their map control and trying to farm as much as possible and see where the creep waves are pushing, where can I TP, where can I just get that little edge of farm to overpower this Dire team. And they're using their wards and their vision, which is just denied by this gem right now, but they used it in the early to mid game so well and figured out all the little spots where they could sneak some more farm in.
Yeah, actually, Nyx might be able to fight out the Jakiro here now with the Mana Bat and the Dagon. No mana for the Mana Bat.
Oh, what an X!
Holy damn! He gets in there. Now this is a savior of the Jakiro, and the Hex is there.
Beautiful by the Tinker.
What a play coming out of that Tinker. Just that split second blink timing. Now, oh! No, there won't be enough. I think if he got one punch in, he would have actually been able to pick him off. Meanwhile, someone's just been hexed. It is the Treant Protector, now hiding herself in the trees. Oh, what a beautiful juke there. Do we have a protection on the heroes at this bottom lane? No, we do not.
And I think at this stage of the game, this Tinker is eligible to just carry a gem because he's really sleepy for them to catch. And we have an initiation on the top lane with the Hex.
The top lane, there was a Hex onto the Witch Doctor, and they're just sort of, oh, what beautiful fog use! Oh, that was absolutely amazing TP coming out there from Charlie. Just hiding behind this
Radiant's
tree.
middle tower is under attack.
And both retreat out, and there was just, this is wasted time for the Radiant team. And XPC International, they utilized their farm so great, they knew what to do, but now they're just slipping off into this time waste kind of way. While the sniper just saw 4 heroes top, he's happily engaging on this Roshan, and they're so, XPC International are so far away and cannot really contest this. They have to gather up, and then they have to actually realize that there's a Roshan going on right now, and it doesn't look like they know.
Shrapnel!
Maelstrom. See, I wouldn't be surprised to think it was I think Mushi on Mirana. He did seem just to like playing it. Actually, the arrow just landed 5 seconds onto the Viper there, but the Treant armor keeps his health up, and the Corrosive Skin just means he takes very little damage from that. But yeah, I think Mushi like went through a phase of like playing a little bit of Mirana mid, and he has been. I've seen him a few times, but he'll just keep buying items and not like. Oh, the damage from that march! Oh dear, it's just way too much damage. The Witch Doctor was very close to dying in like a few seconds.
And now the Tinker is just gonna farm so fast and just he can spam these marches out with that mana pool of the Hex. He can just put 4 or 5 marches on this tower, and the sniper is able to outrange the march, of course, which is always a nice tool to have. But it's gonna take so much time getting these tier 2 towers in this situation, and they're just trading off with the other mid tower. Like the tier 1 mid tower is falling while the tier 1 top tower is falling. So they just traded, and they had to commit all the heroes top to just get this tower.
And there's no TP on the sniper. I mean, while Mirana is pushing down this bottom lane.
Well, that's crucial to have to not have a TP in this situation.
Yeah. I think it's at this point you want to say, right, sell Midas. Because I'd even say just sell the Master Commander. He's just got so much farm at the moment. He's actually finding it difficult to get sort of make its item progressions, because you do want that Master Commanders because it really does help with the sniper. I'd actually would prefer sniper just to go for the boosted travel right now, even more movement speed, so you can sort of kite yourself around a lot more effectively. Are we going to see a blink impale? There's the impale of the heroes. Oh, they just wanted to farm those mod golems.
That was the major plan: invade jungle, farm mod golems.
Yeah.
This Tinker is sitting on a healthy 2500 again, and he's just gonna, I think, level up his Dagon, so he just get his massive damage outburst. And if he gets that up, I think this Witch Doctor is like perma dead.
Wow, yeah. I can't believe I didn't
Radiant's
assume
bottom
Sing
tower
Sing
is
for
under
a Mirana
attack.
game. Really should have been the first option. However, we are going to see them pushing down into this bottom tower. While the Tinker is... Actually, no, Mirana's just free pushing out this top. The Trident Armor does go out onto the tower. But they just can't push into the march. Where are the Blade Mails? Like we both said, they're trying to prioritize different items. And they're all splitting up. They've got one hero going for the Darkseid. They've got a Treant going for the Vicara. And the gem actually, the Hex onto the sniper. But what a beautiful impale coming out from this from the assassin. That saved that fight entirely. If the Tinker was able to keep onto that sniper, there was no chance of them even coming close to surviving into that fight.
Yet they lost this mid tower, and it's so great having the Tinker defend and just split push the other two lanes away with whatever you have to offer, because this Tinker is basically always gonna save your base with his march. It's so hard to push inside there, even if you have a Viper, it doesn't really matter. It's just so hard for that dire team to make the decision, okay, go push now, and then just stand in front of the march. But with that Tinker down, that's the most important fact of our most important goal for the dire team right now, is to get out the Tinker and then capitalize on it and push a tower. Because without this Tinker, the defensive abilities are halved, I'd say.
So yeah, we've got the Tinker stacking really, and he's got 3,000 gold. And I think he's just gonna keep his gold unless he gets like 7,000, and then we'll just finish off the damp and then still have money for the buyback. Because at the moment, the Tinker can't really afford to not have a buyback at any point of the game, because he's so crucial towards their defense. What would you say to, like, how are they really going to initiate onto the Tinker if he's just trying to split push? If they like sort of smoke up in the middle of a wave, can they try and initiate him via there? Or really, how do they want to go about doing this? 5,600 gold up onto this sniper. Buy an item, friend. It's waiting for the Aegis to be reclaimed, but there is a smoke up wrap around coming from the Radiant, and it is good. They've already found the Viper. Thing is, he is not the target you want to go for first. Actually, they've got him with the arrow, with the Hex, and they're actually able to do enough damage to him. And in comes the sniper. He already has that BKB active. Oh, what a beautiful Death Wall positioning. There's no way for them to disable him. And meanwhile, the sniper is just absolutely laying havoc down on every single hero available. And now the sniper is just going to come in for the headshots onto the Darkseid, and they've got him down. Now that is a 3-4-0 exchange.
To come,
Please.
yeah.
The Viper didn't even buy back.
Dire's bottom tower
No.
is under attack.
And to
How
come back,
is the Viper
yes.
has that much health?
It's a Viper, man. She gotta get him. She's just gonna take away with that pipe and the mechanism. But to come back to your question about how you're gonna pick off the Tinker, you just engage your team fight, force the Tinker to come in, and then focus him down. I think that's like the only way you can really get the Tinker out, because if he's gonna push a lane, he's always gonna sit somewhere in the trees, and it's really gonna hard to spot him out.
Yeah. But the thing is, now they can sort of try and take these high ground, and now they've just got taken down the Jakiro. They've got the pipe up. The Darkseid is buying back. The Tinker doesn't want to buy back. It's not long until he gets back up anyway. But now we've got crit up onto this sniper. He's got high attack speed anyway. He's got the Master Bandits. He's now got the crit. I think if he... Oh, that was a really, really nice vacuum into the wall, but the wall was too late. And now, just crit down onto the... Tinker needs to buy back straight away. He's already brought back into the fight. And Rana's now trying to let Data deal the damage down onto the sniper, but he's actually had to back out the fight. The gem is on the deck.
Where's this
But
courier
they
walking?
take the tier 3. I think that courier wants to take the gem, but they don't.
Good luck with that.
There we go. There's the gem taken by the Witch Doctor. And they're just going to back out from this fight. They take the gem, they take their victory. And that will be a big, big deal for them.
They forced the buyback by the Tinker, so he's thrown back in his farm and he has to sit down now, wait until his buyback gold penalty is over, and then they can... Oh, the Nuke's actually engaging on that Jack Hero, and that was a little bit of an overextension there, because now he's just gonna suffer from that, because all that Radiant team is of course on that top lane after the team fight there. And yes, it's a nice TP attempt, but you see that letters on the map, he wrote XD, because he knows he just... his teammate just knows that was total bullshit. But yeah, we see this Shadow team right now checking for wards and then probably just gonna stack for the Tinker. And right now I think we're gonna hit like 1 minute of silence and then the next big fight is gonna commence.
Yeah, because Tinker wants to try and see if he can get up like later levels in Dragon. I actually think this Tinker needs to escape. Screw it. Put my bottle into my stash. I need a Ghost Scepter.
Yes. He needs to somehow survive this sniper, because that is just really a pain. And actually this trend...
They're going for the sniper right now. The arrow was going to be dodged by the sniper.
And the Trent can just scout this out, because now the gem is just gone. And actually they see him... Did they just buy a new gem? Did I miss it? Yeah, they have a gem on the Shadow team. Okay, never mind. So they bought a new gem.
Yeah,
but
I think they... No, that wasn't their gem that was lost. It was actually the Treant's gem that went onto the deck. The Treant died in that last fight, and his gem was actually left on the Radiant side, so they just picked it back up.
Ah, okay, so they traded gems. But still, like, it was really hard in that first half of the game for this dire team to find the initiation on this Tinker to try to push somewhere. But now they're sieging the base. Like tier 3 top is already pushed down, and they have free access to Roshan, because this Radiant team, the XPC International, they really cannot move out of their base safely, and especially with that Nukes stealthing around trying to find the pickoffs, the supporters cannot really leave their base and just have to stay in front of the towers to just get out when the Nukes appears. And that's really cutting down the farm of the Radiant team, because no one can really leave the base. Maximum this Darkseer can maybe move out with his BKB and the dagger, but yeah, it's not the position you want to be in.
No, definitely not. We're looking at about a minute respawn up on... I mean, I can have a DC coming out of Spartan. But we do have a minute respawn onto the Roshan, but we've got a break. Let's take stock. See what that is an XP advantage and a half. Over 10,000 experience advantage going the way of Angry Army, and just over 5,000 going way in gold.
We had this overall advantage from the Radiant team in the first half of the game, but after this it was basically two team fights, we just see this graph walking downstairs to that dire side.
Yeah, definitely sort of I have to say, this sniper has such an incredible level of farm.
Yes, and he picked up that boots of travel that you wished 2 minutes ago, and he's gonna be able to just walk around, have that extra slot so he doesn't have to carry TPs anymore. And from that point it's just gonna get dirty for that dire team, Radiant team, because they don't know really... I don't know how they're gonna oppose this sniper right now. They have a Manta on the bottom, they smoke up, but they're just lacking the damage. Other than the Tinker, there's not much damage they can deal right now. With the Soul Catcher, of course, amplifying the damage, but the only hope is to get the sniper into the wall and hope he's gonna destroy his own teammates right now. And this Tinker just
so much damage on that thing. He's already dead. Yeah, the Nyx is gonna die for it. But you've just traded a Tinker for a Nyx, and now the BKB is up onto this sniper. He's already ripped through the Mirana. Next on line is this Darkseer. There's so much damage. Instant TP cancelled. Can you get the cancel the TP for the Shadow Limit? No, can't. Just out of range on that.
And the only thing in that team fight that hit the sniper to low HP was his own illusion. That's the major damage output by this Radiant team right now. Tinker and the sniper illusion. That's all they have right now. And that's really a dicey situation for them.
And look at things. Look at the gold that is on this sniper. It's got 5,500 gold. He will sell his Midas, and the world is open to him. He could just get an MKB, just get no miss chance from that laser if it ever hits him. Actually, then again, if the laser ever hits him, he'll be hexed anyway. So that's maybe not so much of a grand idea.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Would you even go as far to say sort of a butterfly
Radiant's
or
bottom tower has fallen.
screw it? Actually, I would be interested to see him actually just go for a hex.
The sniper?
He's actually going to go for a Skadi.
Yeah, I think a Skadi is a great pickup because it stacks with a life leech, and you also have that slow plus the headshot, and you're just getting really beefy, and it's not that easy for the Tinker to just jump you and kill you right away.
Oh yeah, the Skadi stacks now. That is a very, very big change. She forgot about that. Not bad. But
You are forgiven.
I very much appreciate it, Stick.
Well, we have that quick pick off of the Roshan, and then we have this sniper sitting on the Aegis right now, and he has 2 lives, and if that Skadi is gonna come in, how are they gonna kill this sniper? And they're struggling to kill anyone apart from that Witch Doctor maybe, and even that Witch Doctor had a point booster and the Ogre Club already for his cannons prepared, so there's not really much they can do about the Dire team right now. They cannot focus someone down and kill him. They have to win a team fight, and how in the world are they going to win a team fight right now?
Yeah, but the crazy worrying thing is the creep waves are not beyond the river. That is never what you want to be happening when you have a Tinker on your team. You never want to have your creeps on your side of the map.
Yes, but it's so hard for this Tinker to find the space because you always have to fear that Nyx, who has that possibility to just burn you down with a Dagon, especially Dagon 4 and a mana burn, which deals so much damage. And yes, you can prepare your base defense with that March, but then you can have that Nyx jumping inside of you with that Spiked Carapace, stunning you, and then the team just following it up. And it's gonna be really hard for that Radiant team to just defend through this because there is so much gold advantage right now that it's over 10k for the Dire team after a good 35 minutes of advantage in that Radiant team.
And these illusions are just going to be absolutely just melted down by the sniper. And he's actually just going to shoot from the low ground onto these racks. And there's nothing they can do about
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yes, and
buyback status. We've got yes onto the sniper, yes on the Rana, and yes on the Shadow Demon. Oh, and the arrow actually lands onto the sniper. He is going to have the Aegis when he gets out. He's just going to BKB. The Rana is already dead. That's all he wants to have. The Dark Sword is going to follow him very, very quickly.
The sniper just
instantly buyback.
The sniper can just click Mask of Madness and his BKB and just click into the base, and he's just gonna kill everything right away. And this is so.
Even if he hits a creep first, he's gonna kill that creep in one shot and then move on to the hero.
Exactly. He's dealing so much damage, and with that big range he has, there's no way that the Radiant team can just jump on him. And right now it looks like Angry Army is just gonna take this game because Radiant cannot overcome what is happening here right now.
Oh, we can see Arrow. No, there we go. Just quickly dodge there, and even go through the buyback, the bad door protection there. The Mana did buy back in that fight, but really the Mana doesn't really have that much more. Like, does land the arrow onto the Viper, but will probably actually take more damage from the corrosive skin than the Viper took from the arrow to begin with.
And this sniper just does not have enough space for the items he can buy. And this Tinker is just getting initiated on with that Carapace, of course, in that March, and there's no way for him to get out of here, even with the Ice Path, even with the Disruption. They try to keep this Tinker alive, and the Jakiro is just dying to that ward by the Witch Doctor, and they're diving right into the fountain now and just getting the kills behind the throne, and it has to be a GG, and there comes the call. There's the Skadi picked up.
I would just like to say that Sniper was actually A-clicking. As he was walking into the base, he turned around to hit a creep, then turned back round to hitting the heroes. actually was A-clicking into these fights.
Yes, and it just worked out so great. He had the shit ton of harm. He had 400 creep kills in this game. He just had a splendid game here. And
717 gold per minute. That was just absolutely incredible.
And then we just show and how strong these amateur teams are already in playing it out. There's not a major mistake that where you would say, okay, this team is bad, but they try. These teams are actually good and performing very well, and it's so high class Dota right now. I'm really looking forward for the next games to happen.
Yeah, I am very, very, very much looking for all of these games. We're gonna have Angry Army taking up the first game up against XPC International. Obviously, follow all of the Dota Legends games. There will be this will be the last game for this week. We will have the rest of the. I think we may have another game. Actually, I think it should be commencing very, very shortly, and we'll be carrying onto this live stream. I think that will be covered by I think our American casters. But this will be it for myself and Sick for tonight. We will be back next Tuesday, hopefully, with another game from the Dota 2 Legends. Anything you want to say, Sick?
Yes, I think I'm just gonna stick to the same line I used yesterday. I thank everyone for tuning in. It was really nice having you here. I enjoyed casting, I enjoyed the teams, I thank the teams for the great games they showed us, and I'm really looking forward to what's gonna happen next in this league, because there is some high level play here.
Yeah, very much appreciate it. Obviously, you can follow myself at Duke_Doto. So if you want to check out anything that obviously myself, what I do with my casting, you can follow us. Also follow the Amateur Dota 2 League, Amateur Dota 2 League, AD2L. So really keep up to date on all of that. But obviously, from all of us here, from the European cast, it will be good night.